How's it going, guys? Randall, aka Shizakats, here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. For our Bushiroad Spring Fest deck profiles, we're not going to be looking at the entire deck card by card, focusing more on the tournament-specific details such as matchups and tech card choices. If you want a more in-depth look at Panda's list with the card by card, please check out Panda's deck profile on the MVI Collectibles YouTube channel. It's not the exact same list, but still teaches a lot of information you would want to know about the deck if you're not very familiar with it. Now, let's get into the video. How's it going, guys? Randall, aka Shizakats, here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, here with another deck profile from the Bushiroad Summerfest Trios. This is going to be my other teammate. So first we had H Hung with his Miku Quince deck, and now we have Long Kim Pham, aka Panda. So what's going on, Panda?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling amazing. This is like my second time winning a trio event with 7 Deadly Sins, so I'm like really happy with my performance that day.
Awesome. So as you just said, you were on 7 Deadly Sins. So what was the motivation behind choosing to play this particular deck for the event?
I just think 7 Deadly Sin really doesn't have any bad matchup. I think after winning World, or like this deck won World, I think like it's probably the best deck in English right now. And yeah, I think this deck's really good.
Yeah, Elizabeth Brainstorm do be a card of all time. Okay, so what was your record at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, I was X2. I lost round 3 in Swiss, and then I lost round 6 in Swiss.
Okay, and then so taking a look at the list itself, so I don't think anything is too out of the ordinary here. Mostly standard stuff. You are running the trees. Shout out to Steve.
Yeah.
For the trees tech. And then I also see you are running one copy of the Goddess Amber event, which was used in the Worlds deck run by Jose. So what do you feel was the idea behind the Goddess Amber?
I think the Goddess Amber is like really strong into decks like Shana or Nikkei. Nikkei particularly because the deck just came out, and the ability to get rid of the tap counter.
The Modernia.
Yeah, the Modernia is like really strong. Also, this deck just hard loses to Shana if they put up the anti-burn, so having the ability to get rid of it just like helps me win the game a lot easier.
And then outside of that, there are just like a few one-ofs. In your zero line, you run one copy of the Stunner, which I don't think is like seen in like every list, right?
Yeah, again, it's really strong into matchup like Nino or Nikkei. Any deck that like can stand by out early, I can use it to like use it to like disrupt their game plan. It actually happened a lot against my Nikkei matchup where they just stand by out the Modernia in the back row, and I just done it, so then they can't move it up. So it's quite good.
Okay. And then I guess one last note about the list. Do you feel like the Gilthunder Chaser? I feel like the Gilthunder Chaser is not like run in every single build. Like some people run like clean cut and like no Gilthunder. So what was the idea behind choosing to run Gilthunder in your deck?
So I think Gilthunder, particularly in this format, is really good because the Bell Pepper card from Hololive isn't really played that much anymore. Last year I opted to not play Gilthunder because Hololive was like a really prominent deck. Yeah. So with this time around, I just thought it was really good. He's technically a Brainstorm 5, which is also really important. Also, since we played the tree, of the event and the tree and the Goddess Amber, the ability to, like, I don't feel really bad if I whiff him because I do play the Elaine that let me draw 1. So I can just always have the event in hand, or if I reveal like a climax something, I can also draw the climax with this card, or I can just send the Gilthunder to the waiting room with this card. So it's technically, I feel great if I see a climax on top or a event on top because I can always have access to it.
Yeah, but whiffing off the event is something that I didn't really think of at first because like I feel like during the time when like people weren't really playing Gilthunder as much, the events kind of just like got added to the deck.
Yeah. I also feel the same with the drop search as well. it's the same concept. If I whiff with the top check, I can just draw it off with this, or I can use the Meliodas Rico effect just to grab whatever I need from the waiting room. Like, there's a lot of time where I just whiff. I use the drop search out my target that I need, reveal top. If it's like a climax or something, I use the sack brainstorm again to sack it off to do it, to use the brainstorm, or I can just use the lane to also draw it, or I can use the Rico effect to grab whatever I need in the waiting room to like plus. So like whiffing your top check usually in every other deck is like really detrimental, but in this deck I feel like I'm plussing if I'm whiffing essentially.
Because you have plays off of whatever you see. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so earlier you were saying that you feel like the deck doesn't have any really bad matchups. Is there anything in particular that you feel is like a really good matchup for you?
Really good matchup? I think the Nikkei matchup is really good because my Escanor Bomb can just get rid of everything that is like potentially harmful to me. The Bunny Girl matchup is also not bad because some of the Bunny Girl card need to get reverses to go into memory, and with the Escanor Bomb I can just disrupt their game plan. What is it? Sometimes a lot of people do not send their like on attack Ricky that goes to memory in Bunny Girl, so I could just slam this send their Ricky to stock, and then I'm just like yeah, they're just behind from that point. So
yeah, do you feel like against Bunny Girl, do you feel like you would just like play chump lanes at like level 2 to prevent them from like reversing their own stuff, or do you still just like, if you have Lost Vein, you just like play Lost Vein Meliodas?
At level 2, what I usually do is I tend to not give my opponent level 3. At level 2, I try to leave them at 2-4 or 2-4 or 2-3 as much as possible, because Hendrickson himself, he is 7 damage in 2 instants or in 1 card.
Assuming you like hit 1 card off the top, right?
Yeah. So like I'm just thinking, okay, so if I leave my opponent at 2-5, or 2-4, they're not gonna be able to Ricky themselves up or clock themselves to go up. So then I'm never in any danger. And since I can do triple Hendrickson so easily, that I really don't want them to be at level 3, because in Weiss Schwarz nowadays, like a lot of decks have like really insane reach, and the moment I give them level 3 is when I usually just die. So I just deny them as much as possible with the level 1 Meliodas.
Yeah, no, but what I was saying earlier is, so like if you have Lost Vein, then they can crash in and they can send their cards to memory. So do you think in Bunny Girl it's ever a consideration to just play really weak zeros and not play Lost Vein?
All the time. Most of the time, my lane at level 2 is always like a bunch of zeros anyway, so like they probably won't have a chance to like crash into my board, and even if they have a chance, it's most likely gonna be running into this, so it's like it's pretty bad for them, I guess.
Okay. Out of the matchups that you had on the Trios tournament, was there any particular one of the games that you felt was your hardest matchup?
Oh, definitely. My hardest matchup was against an 8 standby Hololive player. Oh my gosh, that guy is actually so insane at canceling. Dude, he was like what? Triple canceled into double canceled. He had 11 stock. I stock swap him, hit 4, and he still canceled 4 times. I was like, dude, I don't know how to play against that guy, but it was crazy. I felt like I did everything correctly, but he just like out canceled me. So like, it's a game like that you can't really help.
Do you think there was any hard matchup in terms of like your mechanics versus the opponent's mechanics, and not just like them canceling out the wazoo? Or
probably not, honestly. I think this deck is one of the most ignorant deck in the game. It really does not have any bad matchup. Like I have answers for everything in the format, so like I feel like I just didn't really care about what I ran into that day. I just felt like as long as I played the game well, I won't probably be in danger. So yeah. But no. Again, with the question, I don't think this deck has any like really bad matchup.
Okay. Any potential changes you think you might make to the list at this point?
I do think the Goddess of Amber event is probably not like really my cup of tea. Maybe if I bump it up to 2, I'll see it more, and then it'll probably be better. But I think I might add in the 2-1 pig that Fumios. So maybe that's the add, but I'm not really too sure. I think the deck as it is like really strong.
Because the only two you played in this deck was the trees, and then you played a card Titan, Nanashi.
Yeah. Speaking of card Titan, this card is broken against Nikkei. This is actually so broken. I get rid of like 2 of their lanes, and they just like lose the game on the spot. So it's pretty good. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's like basically it for like the deck. I really wouldn't change anything aside from like
maybe the event or something. Yeah, I know Jose for the Worlds list he played 2 copies, and then you were just on the 1 copy.
Yeah, because I felt like I could always sack into it, draw into it, or I can always like
top check 3
at it, or just hard draw it. So it's like it's not really. I really wasn't like trying to like dig for it because I didn't play in too much Shauna matchup. I just played against like a lot of like Modernia, and again the 2-1 just out their entire board. So. Yeah. I really did need to draw into this card, so.
Yeah, personally for like my deck, I was not really like respecting Shauna anti-burn because like it's trios, so like you have like a much lower chance of like even running into the deck in the first place.
That is fair, yeah.
So I think maybe for like a solos format, it's probably more warrant to run that card, but in a trios format where you have a much lower chance of running into any specific deck, maybe you don't need to run it. So for those of you who are playing the trios format moving forward, maybe you can take some of that into your deck building.
Yeah, for sure. I personally just really like to be prepared for all matchup if possible. So, yeah. So.
Okay. And do you have any last words or shout outs that you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to Tressa Collectible for letting me like be on their channel for the first time. Shout out to my teammate Randall and the Frog Hung for like being great teammates. Shout out to MVI Max Collectible, my local. Hopefully I see you guys there too. And shout out to Strictly Broken for sponsoring me, and Nova TCG for also sponsoring me as well. So thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you for the deck profile, and not sure if we're gonna do mine, but if we do, you guys will see that coming up next. So until then, this has been Randall, aka She's a Cats, with Panda on the Tressa Collectibles channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.